Good evening and welcome to Inferno TV. And welcome to my co-hosts, Aled and James
I
tonight.
think we're co-hosts now, are we? Right, okay.
We're all
Are we
hosts.
panellists?
Yes, co-panelists.
Co-hosts or hosts?
Lead commentator, Aled. Lead
No
match
longer.
night live inputter, James. And
Inputter didn't sound quite as impressive, does it really?
yeah,
Inputter.
I haven't found
Button pressure.
Better than being outputter.
Yeah.
lead
sometimes.
replay maker.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah.
Does that sound better?
And email answerer.
Oh yeah, great, thanks. Yeah, it's true.
The entire game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do like watching the games, but some of the time you just don't get to, do you?
Google Mail.
Right. Well, should we yeah.
Oh, here we are again.
Here we are again. And a mixed fortune weekend, but I
Yeah.
think overall, in relation to the club, a positive one.
Yeah.
So if we begin with the Hull away game, John was there, so he's going to talk us through that in his own inimitable fashion.
I thought that was the word you were going to use.
Indeed.
The started off tremendously. First 8 minutes, really good. The couldn't quite drive it home any further once we got the 3-0 up. And at that point, you might have suspected that we'd maybe try and hit Hull with their normal tactic and sit back and try and hit them on the break. We didn't really do that and continued to attack. And late in the first period, Hull scored. So it was at 3-1.
Well, I didn't realise it was 6:30 face-off, and I checked my phone at 7 o'clock because I went out for some food, and we were 3-0 up, and I was like, wow, that's.
Yeah.
Was there a penalty shot within the first couple of minutes, wasn't there? Why
Yeah, there
that?
was an early penalty shot, yeah.
What was that? Was that just a Faulkner breakaway that was somebody came from behind? Or
Yeah,
was
he was brought down as he was going in, I think. So,
Stop it.
but
Can't say from behind these days without people sniggering.
But when I was covering Match Night Live that night, and when I wrote my first period report, I did put on the end of it that I felt that Hull were coming back into it, and guys with guys like Tender and Doucette in that team, that the next goal would determine the outcome of the game. That if we didn't get the next goal, that we would be up against it. And we started to run into penalty issues, unfortunately, after that. And I don't think Mr. Hicks.
Can tell what
Yeah.
we're going to talk about after.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think Mr. Hicks had his finest hour there, and we ran into some penalty trouble, and some of them didn't.
You could copy and paste Hansen into that, couldn't you?
Yeah. Some of them were dubious, let's put it like that.
What do I know?
The
Yeah.
yeah.
Put that there.
Hull got a bit more physical. The game sort of teetered on the brink. We didn't really tighten up enough. We continued to attack. We had D men up attacking as well. And unfortunately, with the skill that they've got, they opened us up.
They're fast, aren't they?
Very fast.
You got Tendler and Doucette,
They're
and you can't.
excellent on the break and very skillful.
Yeah.
And Gipters didn't play, did he?
No, he
And
was ill, unfortunately.
He's
our
way
fast
of
D.
counteracting the Doucette breakaway, isn't he?
Yeah, we didn't. When you got guys like Tender and Doucette attacking, and they're getting a lot of power plays, which maybe not justified. You're always going to be, there's always a danger. Move the puck round quick, nice and skillful, and very good at finding those corners. They're very good at finding the little spot in the net that's open. We know that from watching Doucette finishing in the past.
Am I right in thinking though Gipters wasn't a healthy scratch? He was unwell.
He was ill, unfortunately. Yeah, he was running a temperature on that. And of course, we didn't have Ben Davis either because Ben was nursing an injury. So we lost that little
And
extra
Kirker.
bit of pace.
So
And Kirker, and so
our fast players.
we probably lost three of our fastest guys, unfortunately.
If
Yeah.
you think about it.
Yeah.
And from there, we didn't really recover. And when we let them really get into it, where they got to 3-3, I think we kind of panicked a bit then and really threw everything at them. And unfortunately, it just left us exposed.
Yeah.
And we just didn't compete. And with the way the refereeing went, it just didn't help the situation basically, and we ended up losing the game.
But people saying the best team lost.
Yeah.
Even Hull fans saying they thought they were.
Are you the best
lucky.
team if you concede 5 in a
Well,
row?
you're not, but I mean.
No, the Devils played a lot of nice hockey with no end product.
That's the sign of a team's fans who are delighted to have come from a 3-0
down.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
fair
were
point.
the better team, though.
But we won. 2 points.
Is it?
2
Yeah.
points.
Well, we heavily outshot Hull, and in my opinion, what we missed was a guy like Tendler or Doucette just to get on the end of it. We don't really have a natural sniper in the team at the moment, and there was a lot of opportunities that went begging in front. Ben gave up a fair amount of rebounds straight in front.
Ben Bounds.
Yeah, because Rama scored off one of those. Congratulations on his first goal.
Oh yeah.
but we don't have a natural sniper at the moment, and Kirk is probably the closest thing we got to it, and I wouldn't say he was a sniper really. But we certainly missed that. So credit to the guys for putting in, a much improved performance after the Coventry game, but unfortunately, I don't think tactically that it was probably as good as it could have been.
So, from the misery of Saturday in Hull,
Was it misery?
We had a great.
Well, you had fun.
We had a fantastic trip with Red Army Travel as always.
Chip spice,
yeah,
beers.
I think everybody had a good time, and we also had, we obviously had our famous fan with us as well, which is always good for attracting a bit of attention. So,
Was there?
Yeah. Lorna Fitzgerald made the trip with us.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Is that EastEnders?
Yeah.
Of EastEnders fame.
That's
Went
right.
up to Hull.
She did. She came to Hull with us,
Good grief.
and she's coming to Coventry with us soon.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yeah.
Genuinely loves it.
Yeah, she does. Absolutely loves the hockey. She
Oh,
Red Army Travel
why?
had given her a Ben Davis jersey, which she was proudly wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Blimey. Was she
yeah.
chanting as well?
she was joining in with the clapping and the stamping. And
She's like a normal person just because she's on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I understand that. Yeah.
No,
Well,
she's a Devils fan.
yeah. No,
Oh,
I
it's good.
see, it's all come about quite quickly. That.
Yeah.
I thought it was sort of I happened to be at a game and But
Oh
no. On the
no,
away
she
trips.
does like the
I
hockey.
haven't been
So
away this season, so she's more of a fan than me.
yeah, so, it's
So,
that was good to see. So
it-
yeah, we had a great. We were warmly welcomed up in Hull as we always are. The
I'm going to make it one day. It's one of the couple of rinks I haven't been to yet.
yeah, you should go there. It
Yeah.
is somewhere you've got to go.
So
But,
from the misery on
Sorry,
the ice.
you're still segueing into the next
Yeah,
point,
I
aren't
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
10 minutes ago.
Let me do it again. From the misery on the ice, I've
good,
adjusted
yep.
it to the jubilant scenes on the Saturday, where not only did our boys triumph
On Sunday.
over the hated Sheffield Steelers, but also the glorious news of Dave Whistle being signed for 3 years as coach. So we'll start with the game, but then we can, it was a night of great joy.
It was
in
a
the
it was
bed.
a
And it
night
was-
to enjoy,
And
wasn't
it was a good crowd as well. It's probably
1,650.
I mean,
Again,
it's
look-
another one where it looked more
it
than
looked like
that. didn't
fairly
it?
full, didn't it?
It
I mean,
was.
it was enough that it looked full, I would
It
say.
was good.
And you could sort of take people who were standing, put them in the seats, and you'd find it hard to believe there'd be any spare seats.
No.
I would say. The other thing, of course, is we must mention is that the away following on a Sunday night. There were a few Steelers fans there, which is great
Yeah.
for them to make the trip. But
And thank you.
most of our games are Sunday night, so you do lose out a lot on away fans. On
Yeah,
there.
you don't get
But
as many
this
in.
season, of course, we're making it up with the webcast.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is that to consider as well.
I said we had a couple of hundred on the
webcast.
webcast, which was good.
Well, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, sort of, for the Panthers games recently, we've had around that figure as well.
We
haven't
have, yeah.
So we're not trying to sort of put ourselves over here, obviously having been involved. No more. But
come on to that
I
in a
mean,
minute.
it is something to factor in terms of the attendance as
Well,
well.
yeah, it certainly does. It's a revenue stream, so
Yeah.
it's important, like getting fans in.
So sorry, I've
Oh, that's all right.
Having segued beautifully, I've
Meandered
gone-
off
meandered
course.
off course.
But no, it
spectacularly.
was a good crowd. There was a good atmosphere there.
Big welcome back for Chris Blyton and Phil Hill, which was great
Yeah.
to see.
Well, Phil's been.
Well, Phil's had his welcome.
we
hasn't he?
Yeah,
discussed
but
Phil Hill's.
He got another
welcome.
welcome back, and Chris got an
Chris
ovation.
got a big
Yeah,
clap.
he got a big clapping ovation, which was
That's
which
quite
was
nice
good
to
to
see,
see.
actually, because you get it sometimes. You get the boos and the hisses and the
No,
But
the pantomime chants, and it's
but
nice to.
But I think with in blight circumstances, everyone understands the situation
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
And he's not done anything to upset any Devils fans either.
Including during the game, really.
No. Well, indeed.
Well, Chris is still a devil, I think, personally.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It must have been. I was thinking about it. It must have been difficult
must
for him because only up until recently he was still a devil, and
He's got some.
he's still a devil at heart.
And he's still got some long-term friends on the team.
He has.
I agree with that to an extent, but for those of you who were lucky enough to watch the USA Russia showdown in the Olympics, a few days ago, which I think will go down as probably as one of the games in history. To be honest with you, it was
I still
absolutely
haven't seen
spectacular.
it.
The game where the Russians were robbed of
Are
victory.
they
that
going
one.
to make
It
movies of it?
was incredible. It was an incredible match, absolutely stunning game. But pretty early on there, Voinov absolutely cleaned up Dustin Brown in that. King's teammates in LA, and he just cleaned him up with a huge hit. So there is, of course, you have friends and everything, but when you get on the
Once
ice,
you're on
They're
the ice,
professional players.
yeah.
They know their job.
I'm not
do you
suggesting
remember
Blight went easy
no,
on
no,
us.
no,
No.
no. Do you remember Ruman and Durr a few years back in
I do.
Coventry, where he offered Voth and then fought him after the whistle at the end of the period, and they're big friends, aren't they?
Yeah,
I
they
believe
were friends.
they're
Yeah.
big friends.
Yep.
But That's the way it goes, isn't it? So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
but
Sorry, Sheffield.
good way. Yeah, back on course. We're going to run over again. But I mean, I thought it was a really good performance. So if we just start in general, then we can pick out some sort of individual points, perhaps. I thought it was once again. I mean, the problem with the Coventry game was the compete level was just way down, and it just seemed. I think it was one of those nights for me. You get them in hockey. It's funny sport, isn't it? Where you can do that one night and win the next. And things just weren't clicking. It was obvious. Nowhere, not even one line did anything click.
No, nothing worked that night.
The disappointing thing was that the guys just couldn't find a compete level to just try and match Blaze on a few shifts until that spell in the last period. Against Steelers, it was right up there, wasn't it?
It's quite strange, isn't it? Because I mean, it was a fairly typical Steelers game in some respect, in the fact that it was actually hitting, which checking, which was nice to see.
Yeah, I agree.
But the Steelers didn't really offer a huge amount.
No,
and that's quite.
It didn't look like a team near the top of the league, really, did they?
The thing is, but I mean, most teams are near the top of the league this year, aren't they?
Well, I suppose there is that.
When you look at the Belfast, when you look at the side that they signed at the start of the year, and you think of the budget and all that sort of stuff that probably went into it, and you look at the team that came into the rink on the Sunday. For me, they don't individually, even now, they don't look a better team than us.
No.
And when you look at, especially that's typified possibly by the third lines actually as well. Steelers going out with the experienced Hewitt, Phillips and Hill against our young line. Obviously Davis not in there, so Batch on there with Jones and Piggott. And you would expect, or perhaps in previous seasons, that line to dominate. They should dominate. There's
with all the experience.
There's a couple of one or two marquee Brits, supposedly on that line.
Well, they're GB International, aren't they?
They're GB International, and that was an even line. If anything, I thought our line competed.
I thought our line matched them.
It didn't look like boys against men against young up and comers, if you like, at all. And the performance came from that, didn't it? So that was good.
No, the boys played with heart again, as they always do.
Yeah. I was a little bit worried because obviously you got the coaching changes again in Sheffield. But I don't know whether it's different having a coaching change where you sort of bring in a member of the team who's already there, is already one of the team.
Gertz is not going to come out in the press and say, like Lefebvre did, I'm going to sack people who don't try when he's been playing with them all year, is he? So I think there's a big difference.
I don't know there was that element in the Coventry game. You could see that they were all playing for their position.
Oh yeah.
And they were all really, really up for it in a way that even the Hendricks seemed to care and actually try. And they haven't been bothered all year, have they? It
doesn't seem that way
no.
anyway. But,
I'm ill for Christmas. Oh, so am I. We're going to go off home by.
I can't see the Gortson thing lasting, to be honest.
No, what, even for the rest of the season?
No, I think Tony will look to bring somebody in sooner rather than later, because
well, they need to win. They're losing tonight, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if they don't win the Challenge Cup against Panthers. If they don't
they're
obviously
not winning the league.
They need the playoffs to salvage the season, don't they?
And they're not exactly doing a good job in building up to it either.
Or they're going to spend a lot of money and end up with nothing again, like they have previously. Yeah. Like not even qualifying for the playoffs, which has, of course, happened to them a few times in recent years.
Yes.
So
I think league hate as well.
Well, I mean, I don't, but I mean, at the moment, if we've had a good record against them this year, if we ended up against them in the playoffs, I think I'd quite fancy us to get through.
At the moment,
am I right in thinking with the Sheffield game that means we've got a clean sweep against Nottingham and Sheffield at home?
I don't know, but I'd heard that, which is.
I haven't checked, but yeah.
That's a possibility. I didn't look at
Nottingham certainly,
that's incredible.
But then we're 6 points, 8, I don't know what it is at the moment. It's 7 points from second.
Yeah.
So.
Individual performances for you on the Devils side. I mean, should we start with the goaltending?
Yeah, I thought Kozowski was outstanding on the night. Absolutely outstanding.
He actually looked better after going down injured. He came up again, and we thought, this is it now. This is game over.
James.
And he came back, and he was.
Well, not for the first time. He's taken a knock during the game and played superbly after it. Because we saw him injured the other week, and he carried on and saw us to another win.
And he's been underneath, like in scrums, underneath like sort of 5 or 6 guys, and he comes out and shakes it off.
He looks like he loves it.
He does.
He's like from the Andrew Lord School of Hockey.
He is.
Me.
Well, always a big smile.
And he started getting stuck into opposition forwards a bit now.
I like that. And I've seen him checking people now.
He's quite pleased to clear the crease, isn't he? He's not afraid to get in there.
He's very skillful behind the net, though, isn't he? Have you noticed?
Oh, yeah.
Very skillful.
James has done a cool bit of research for us, and I think it's gone under the radar a little bit.
It makes it sound like it's more work than it actually was. But obviously he's the Polish international, one of the Polish international goaltenders, who I think that GB are actually going to be facing in April.
I think that's right.
In Division 1B. And in the 2012-2013 series, where they got a silver medal in Division 1B, you got the best goals against average, 0.5, and a best save percentage of 0.97.
Yeah.
That was 2 games and a 0.97 save percentage. So that's pretty,
I think
international level.
He's another one of the European guys who've been a bit underrated. And actually, when you look behind you can see all that quality. Yeah. Actually, going into the Coventry game, over our league winning streak, those 7 games, his goals against was 1.5.
Yeah, very low
as well. I know it's obviously changed a bit now after that, but
we spoilt it a bit for him, unfortunately, with the Coventry and the whole game.
Even those had empty netters, didn't they?
Yeah,
I think they both did.
Yeah,
so
his average is still good.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had I want to give a mention to Plummer, not just because he's been on the show, but for me, he has his best games against Steelers, and he is totally in that team's heads at the moment. And he's taken a guy, he's got Fatter, who on paper probably is their top D man, who should be at least, he should be controlling the play, shouldn't he, Fatter? Who seems to be totally preoccupied with what Plummer's doing, fascinated. Yep. Spencer, who should be at least looking to dominate in our building, I think, because we, with the physicality, he's a legit tough guy. Again, totally, he's been in Spencer's head every game, and you just look at those confrontations, and it matters to Spencer and Fatter, but Plummer's just sort of, you can see him laughing, and I think he's up there with Darryl Lloyd as one of the top agitators in the league.
We know he's doing his job because
he can hold his own as well. He doesn't rely on.
There's a lot of away fans who hate him, so he's obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
So he is very good at winding up the other teams.
Fantastic, and taking top players like that out, away from the attention of the game. Great job, and as you said, he'll do the fighting as well. Yep. Which a lot of agitators don't. So fantastic. Speaking of somebody who did have to fight, and I thought it was honourable of him to do that in the situation, was Matt Myers, of course, in that game as well, who did fight Baldwin.
Well, he's up against Baldwin, who obviously is a tremendous fighter, as we could see from the skill level he demonstrated.
Yeah. It was a little bit embarrassing, wasn't it? It was. You got a Brit being, sort of offered out by a.
And everyone knows Myers doesn't fight.
If you offer out a Brit who doesn't fight, well, I'm not so much Brit, because I don't particularly buy that argument, but it does have an effect. A Brit who isn't a fighter, and then you throw one punch and then try and throw them to the floor, and then end up not being strong enough and get thrown to the floor.
He didn't connect with anything.
I don't think
Myers.
He punched, did he?
No, well, he swung one. Then he realised, oh dear, tried to throw him on the floor, which I think is a bad move when you've offered someone out. And then he gets thrown to the floor himself.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a good time for poor old Gord Baldwin, who is a quality player.
He's a very good player,
but
maybe not a particularly good fighter.
But it was nice to see the fact that, the guy's sorting out on the ice and not going crying to the league.
Well, until after the game, at least.
Until after the game.
Yeah.
No, that was good to see.
I mean, obviously that came from the hit Myers on Gerson. I like Gerson, tremendous player. Obviously his pedigree, NHL pedigree. Taken over. It's a shame he's got injured on that play, and of course, he got a big clap off, didn't he, as well from the fans when he left. But myself and John, I'm not sure if James, if you've seen it. Have you seen it? But we've all been fortunate enough to have seen the replay of that and slowed down as well.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that that is another horrendous decision by the head of league discipline.
It is.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
We've been through this before, and we said like Hansen. We thought that when Hansen came in, he was going to be able to do a good job. He was going to be nice and sort of balanced. And again, it's like it's a fairly cut and dry case. I mean, there's even Sheffield fans saying that it clearly wasn't a bad hit.
Yeah. And the thing is, Spence. Let's be honest. If Spence had thought it was a really bad hit, he'd have battered Myers straight off the bat. You can see by the
reaction of the other players on the ice when it happened that there was a bit of.
You've got to do something.
They were concerned about Gorton.
There's a bit of concern. There's a bit of sort of arguing, but they didn't go nuts. They didn't like sort of and players that would have quite happily flattened people didn't.
Yeah. There was obviously there was no intent.
No.
Aside from that, though, what's the key thing here, John?
Well, I could talk about the frame by frame because I do the frame by frame. There's one frame between Gorton being side on to Myers. So the point about distance travelled to contact is completely irrelevant, because 99% of the distance travelled by Myers, Gortson is side on to him, in which case it'd be shoulder-to-shoulder contact. For the very last fraction of a percentage of a second, he turns away from Myers.
Which is his responsibility.
Yeah, and how Myers can't possibly miss it. And there was a couple of points I thought about on this. There was a hit by Saric on Kristanovic, I think it was 2 seasons ago, where Jordan was working in the corner, head down, working the puck, and Saric came from a distance while Kristanovic was head down, working with his back to the corner, and took him without slowing down and caused serious injury. Now that, I would say, would be a proper check from behind, a bad check from behind. A guy came from a distance and cleaned the guy out who clearly wasn't aware that he was coming. What made it worse is they were very good friends and family friends, and it caused a lot of trouble. There was almost a similar incident the same year. Kristanovic had come back from injury and was working against the boards again. And sometimes Jordan did do that thing where he didn't really look around him, which some of our guys are very good at. And Brad Voth was the guy coming in. Now, a lot of people said that Brad was a very dirty player. Brad came in very fast onto the back of Kristanovic, but did not check him from behind. When he came in, he put both arms out onto the glass and just pressed Kristanovic so that they could work the puck. But there was no intent. There was certainly no intent. That was so a situation where if Gortson had been standing with his back to Myers, and Myers had come in all that distance that he skated and checked him directly into the back, then that definitely would be a bad hit from behind. And I would definitely say that was a bad hit from behind. The fact that 99% of the time when Myers was coming in, Gortson was side on, means that distance travelled is irrelevant.
And the other thing, of course, he wasn't in full stride either. He was sort of coasting into the hit. It
wasn't a heavy hit at all. It hardly made any noise.
It was an unfortunate thing.
Even then, that would be boarding, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Well, distance travelled.
He wasn't far enough away from the boards to be boarded.
No, distance travelled relates to charging and boarding.
Charging, yeah.
But the key point here is, as you said, John, is that Gertson is side on. Myers is going for a side on hit. It's barely. I wouldn't say it's a big hit.
It's not high.
I would say side on body contact. That's how I would describe it. To go and battle for the puck. Gertson has turned at the last second, and we've seen the slow mo replay. And whatever. We're a devil show. You could say we're biased, or whatever. But we're absolutely.
You're welcome to see the replay.
You can say it, whatever. But you can see the replay. We're absolutely not being in this case, and he's turned at the last moment. It is the responsibility of the player being hit to protect themselves as well. And of course, it's completely right, in my opinion, that the rules have moved towards the point where, as a player, you have to bear in mind the position of the player. And if they're facing the numbers, you don't make that hit if it's there. 100% right.
No.
The guy turns at the last second on a hit you're already committed to making. There is no way, and it's in the rules. We've seen Shanahan come out in the NHL on similar plays and not suspend guys for this in the best league in the world. There's an example posted on the Inferno today. I can't remember the poster, I'm afraid, but you can go and check it out. That is the responsibility of the guy who's been hit. And as soon as you start making it the responsibility of the person being hit, you're going to have a lot more problems.
Well, 99. We're going to be banning guys every week for the same thing because that happens. There's something like that. The difference is that Gortson took I don't know. It's difficult to work out exactly why it happened, but Gortson went at a strange angle then and hit his head hard on the boards, and his helmet moved. And obviously, and we certainly don't want to see any players injured, and he's a quality player. So what we're not saying is that it's okay to go out and injure guys because.
But we've seen miles worse incidents in the Olympics, not even penalised.
We've seen Ben Davis get done like it almost every week.
But he does get back up again, though.
At the end of the day, it's a total balls up, this call, I'm afraid, and I don't mind saying it.
The explanation is made up.
Well, the explanation doesn't help because the explanation is complete rubbish as well.
No, it doesn't follow what happened, really, with relevance.
And I tweeted today, and I think it's a really important point, is that there's a lot of things said about why or why not players may or may not sign in this league. But for me, the biggest reason, and we've seen it with players coming out and saying it as well, who've left the league, is
we saw Mario Larocque's post. Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen that. He said it as well, has he?
Well, he did. It's worth seeing if you haven't seen it. After the Clan game, he said he just couldn't believe the standard of the officiating.
No, but and this is time and time again, and I would be amazed if that isn't the main reason for somebody deciding not to sign in. If that, it does happen.
And the annoying thing in this case is it wasn't even officiating on the night.
No.
It officiated on the night.
Got it right.
Got it right.
Yeah. And we're not the only people to be saying it. If we're the only people to be saying it, you might think we were being biased, but we've had Fife fans saying it, Hull fans saying it, Braehead fans saying it, Coventry fans saying it. We haven't heard it. So I think there was one of the incidents with Nottingham where Nottingham fans were saying it, that some of the reviews that have been made, and probably other teams have said it, but it doesn't seem to be affecting some of the other teams as much as some of the smaller ones, that some of the reviews and decisions that have been made have been, well, they appear to be a little biased, let's just say. And you have to question whether Mr. Hanston's position is being undermined by the people who pay his wages. Am
I right in thinking that it's a 3-game ban, therefore we can contest it?
I believe so.
And if we contest it, that means that Myers will play tomorrow night.
Yeah. Against Steelers. Who were the side that put the appeal in.
Whereas if it was a 1-game ban, then we couldn't have done anything about it.
Well, I think it should be contested on the grounds of what we've discussed.
Yeah.
That it's bollocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. Come out and say it.
It's so frustrating, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, we all love the sport. We all want to see it succeed. We're watching the Olympics now, and we're watching a fantastic Slovenian side who've got 148 registered players, of which we've got one playing for us. Go from where GB was 10 years ago into an Olympic quarter-final. Yeah. And we want to see the sport succeed. And we're
well
watching,
done to them.
And there's elements to it, and the disciplinary committee and overall standard refereeing is one where the sport is being held back. And ultimately, most hockey fans, I think, of supporters of elite league teams, the ultimate aim is actually to see this. You want to see the sport benefit, and that's close to, I think, most hockey fans are. And that is one issue where the sport is being held back. And as a fan, it's massively frustrating. We
do have a British reffing the...
Good point.
The ladies' final.
The ladies' final.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Joy Johnstone, who used to be Joy Topman, who is going to be doing that, and that's going to be a hell of a game.
It will.
The US.
And if people can get it organised, I think they'd love to take on Sheffield, the winners of that Olympic final, take on the ladies, take on Sheffield, and let's see which team's the best, because ladies hockey apparently is irrelevant.
Oh, this is this is a Simsy deliberate fish, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah. He was trying to get a reaction, and he did get a reaction. Yeah. But the fact is that the standard of the ladies' hockey has been very high.
If you say something stupid enough, you also can get a reaction.
Yeah. I'm sure he's looking.
He's very good at
that's what he does. He's looking for the reaction. But the standard of the ladies' hockey has been very high. It's been a joy to watch.
Yes, absolutely.
And so well done to the ladies, and well done to the men on providing us with such a spectacle, because it really has been a spectacle.
It's been incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Management changes.
Yes, I don't think we're going to get through every point again tonight.
We'll give it a go.
We'll whistle through them.
See what he did there.
Yeah.
Almost a joke.
Here all night. Okay.
Because you can't get rid of you.
So, Matt, while we were all expecting the big announcement at the game that Brent had flown back from the Olympics early and was going to be coached for the next couple of years.
And playing as third D-man.
And then we were going to retire his jersey, and it was going to be hung in front of everybody.
It's a bit of a Jackie Moon moment.
Yeah.
And he's going to wrestle a bear.
That's right. And that as well. He's going to do the Putin thing. Have you ever seen the Putin promotional videos where Putin comes running out...
Topless on horses and things.
He comes running out of the sea with his Speedos on and charges up the beach like an athlete. Or the one where he's wrestling with professional wrestlers. Of course, they're not allowed to do anything to him.
No.
Otherwise, he'll be executed.
Anyway.
Yes. Well,
a bit of politics there, a bit controversial.
Yeah.
So we talked about Whistle or the management changes?
Well,
it goes hand in hand, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's Whistle was announced.
I suppose that's the catalyst.
On Saturday,
fantastic news. The Whistle's going to be the coach. He isn't going to be accompanied on the bench by Brent, which I think a lot of fans had said that they didn't really want to see that. Well, that isn't going to happen. Brent is also going to move off a little bit of a tangent, and he's going to be very busy with what he's going to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be director of coaching. He's going to be doing some scouting. He's going to be looking after the apprentice program.
Just on that note, something that goes under-mentioned, I think, a lot, is if he is involved in scouting, and that doesn't necessarily mean signing the team, because that's very clear that's Whistle, but you have to say the recruitment he's done since he became coach, whatever your personal opinions are of him or whatever, and we know that's a big divisive topic, they've been really good, haven't they?
Yes.
He's had a tough job to do, isn't he, really?
The only one there's been a question mark over, because he came in unfit, was Marcus Rama. But I think Marcus is really starting to get back on his game.
He's starting to prove
He's
himself.
obviously working
Definitely.
very, very hard off the ice. I know that he goes running a lot. And he's been trying to get it. He's been trying to get himself back in there. What I would say about Marcus is he's got tremendous hands. He's got fantastic positional sense.
Eyes.
Yeah. He's very good at screen. He's much better at screen the netminder than we've seen for as long as I can remember.
I think Rama has screened more goalies for longer than anybody has in the Devils for years.
Yeah.
Which is still only about a minute and a half, but it's nice to see.
He checks people. He's working very. He's got a very high work rate on the ice.
Yeah.
So I think that Marcus is only going to get better.
So Brent's done good.
Yeah, well, what can you say?
It wasn't a good position to be in.
You brought Steve in.
Yeah.
Steve and Steve's real quality.
Yep.
You've brought Gipters in.
Yep.
Gipter, real quality.
And real fast.
Very, very fast. Yeah.
Yep.
He's brought Kirker in, and obviously he's rubbish. Everybody knows that.
Well, he's the European.
Well, he's an all-star team, guys.
Yeah, he's one of the best guys in the league.
Yeah.
He is for his all-round game as well.
Yeah.
And that absolutely useless netminder.
Oh yeah, that international.
Who's the Polish international netminder that we've already discussed with his fantastic, performances for Poland.
Yeah.
And for us.
And for us.
Yeah.
So that's good. So that means anyway, fantastic news. And of course, the big thing, is then that there's stability there. We hope, and with Whistle's experience going into the new arena, which is continuing to move forward. And we'll put some pictures up soon, I think, of the site. Perhaps on Inferno. Yeah. Well, it's mud and stuff, but lots of mud's been moved around.
But it is moving
there
on.
Are people there.
Yeah.
And that'll be into the new arena, which hopefully the next year is our last year in the tent. So that's fantastic. So there's a couple of management things. Obviously, that means Brent's coming back, so he'll be doing a lot. What I liked is he's going to be doing a lot of media stuff, and that's obviously a big forte of his. Mm-hmm. He'll be doing Devils TV, which obviously is extremely good for everyone. Extremely upsetting for me, of course. Now
he was very good at the foundation stuff when he was doing that previously.
Yeah.
Glad to see that Jamie's also got a confirmed role there, because he's been doing a great job for us.
Positive.
Chris Agland with that confirmed permanent role as well, taking over the media and that side of it.
And then a new lady, I'm sorry, I've forgotten her name.
Yes.
But a new lady's come in who sounds like going to be in sort of organisational things and sort of office stuff.
I haven't met her yet.
The management stuff, isn't it, that Brent was doing that maybe he hasn't had time to do.
I think Francine's been confirmed as well in her role. So all positive, I think. And
I suppose the only question mark is obviously, and I think it was actually alluded to in the statement, is obviously there's a bit of a budget there for off-ice staff. Is how that might affect on-ice staff. But I suppose we've seen this year that if you're smart with recruitment, and no doubt Dave Whistle's got a massive pool of people he can look into.
Fantastic number of contacts.
You can get good value for money, perhaps.
You can.
We'll see. So
and I'm sure we missed somebody out.
It was a huge cheer just when it was announced on the screen.
It was quite impressive, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was fantastic news.
So like an Oscar speech. I'm sorry, I've missed you out. There's just too many to miss.
I'm sure I missed something. The Devils, of course, have also moved back to their proper base in Cardiff, near the BBT, which I think is much better news than them being in a completely different city.
Yeah,
not Cardiff.
Totally agree.
Yeah, because you need to be in a place where the guys can pop down to the office if they need to, and that sort of thing. So I think that's a big step forward as well, personally.
So are they back in the same office as they were, or is it just
I believe so. I
yeah,
back
Caspian
the same.
Point, isn't it? Yeah. So that's down. For anyone who doesn't know, that is down the Millennium Centre side of the bay, so the opposite side to where the ice rink is.
Yep.
And it's over towards the National Assembly building over there. So a big blue car park by that.
Yes, right. Where the big roundabout is from the cinema and the tunnels.
Yeah.
You go down. It's the first building on the right, and if you go to the reception doors, is the section on the right is the Devils section.
Cool.
So it's very easy to find. I've been down there myself before. So yeah, very easy to find. Car park around the back if you're popping down there for any reason. You'll normally see a Devils van parked outside anyway, because it's normally they're parked outside.
Back-to-back wins over Steelers tomorrow then?
Well, they're not doing so well tonight, were they? So,
well, we don't. Yes,
and they are playing tonight, and we're not, which is also a bonus.
So hopefully
we don't have Matt Myers unless we appeal.
No, hopefully that's an advantage, and obviously we're on.
Well, hopefully we get Kirk.
Hopefully Kirk.
We don't know.
Yeah, hopefully Kirk will recover from his sickness. So we're certainly pushing for another win there. Plummer will be pushing to do what he does best.
Okay, so it's at Sheffield. We got to fancy ourselves.
It won't be easy. because they are good at Sheffield, and the ice is bigger. There doesn't tend to be much atmosphere in their building.
No.
So
all their fans come dressed as plastic seats, don't they?
yes, apparently.
Yeah.
Black seats so that you can't see the puck.
Yes, I've heard. That's the ice.
Right, black. Oh, yeah, that's right. Black ice. Yeah. Very slippery stuff.
I presume they'll be without Gertson though, so obviously.
Unfortunately, from what we I did send him a message. I wouldn't want anybody to think that that there's any particular malice in there. I did send him a message saying
on our behalf.
Well, it's never nice to see a player go down for whatever the circumstances.
No, absolutely.
And players do get injured during clean hits during games. We know that it happens. That there was a collision during the game with our own netminder where a Sheffield player unfortunately landed on him with his elbow, which I'm sure was completely unintentional. And things like that do happen during games.
Yep.
So I'm sorry to say.
Great. So are we? But yeah, well, hopefully it's good. Hopefully there'll be a few fans. MNL running for that one.
Hopefully, we're not sure how many.
I don't know who's going
up. But if we can get anybody, so if anybody's actually going up, then we can hopefully run it. We haven't missed many this season.
We probably should mention the Devils app very quickly, which is available on the Android market and also on the Play Store for those with
iPhones.
It's on iPhone,
yeah. I have the iPhone version. It's very good. Yep. Gives you the fixtures, tells you a bit about the squad. You can go through the guys' pictures, look at their heights, and all that sort of stuff, which I can guarantee are absolutely made up. Yeah. Because half the guys aren't as tall as they've said on there.
That's in their skates.
Oh, yeah. For all the years I've been involved with hockey, I've hardly ever seen it where they were true. I've seen guys who were about 4 inches shorter than me who were claiming to be taller than I was, which I always thought was funny.
And they're weighed in their kit as well.
They must be. They must be weighed in the sandbag.
It's where they stand. It's sort of the leading forward stance. That's what it is.
You can watch highlights on there as well, of course, of the games and everything like. And a feature I love is that you can book tickets. It takes you straight through to the
it's a very nice little app.
And I think
but for all the ladies, there are pictures of all the players on there, but in their outfits. Sorry, but I know that the ladies were looking at it the other day when we were on the Hull trip. They were enjoying the pictures of all the guys.
Oh, right, okay.
So
better viewed on the iPad, I suppose, than the phone, so the picture's larger.
Yeah, probably. So
exactly. So they might want to pick that up a little bit. That was a perfectly timed scream there by somebody else. So yeah, it's really cool though. First hockey club in the UK to do it, or at least in the elite league.
Panthers have now.
I think there have been some other apps out before.
It wasn't great.
But ours is very good.
Yeah.
It looks really good. It runs really well. I've been really impressed with it.
Yeah.
But you do need small fingers for the one section where you pick the menu up on an iPhone. It is very small windows. But I haven't got small fingers and I can do it, so you'll be okay. And then we've got our good friends from Fife on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
From the Kingdom of Fife, I should say.
Coming down to play a hockey game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
and they have been playing very well lately. They scored 13 over the weekend.
They think that they can catch us quite comfortably.
Us?
Yeah, they think we're in their sights. So it's good. They're going to be up for this
It's us, Hull and Coventry. They've got targeted.
Yeah, they're going to be up for this game.
But they played very well on the weekend. So we are going to have to play properly. We know that they're dangerous.
We got the beard coming down, haven't we?
Yeah. One of our favourite players, Mr. Nickerson, as it happens.
Yeah.
He's a guy that we rate. He's a big guy who can actually play. And I think this year he maybe had a couple of injustices done against him by the disciplinary panel.
Yeah.
That's another team that can play. So be interested to see how they get on. I think Haynes was going particularly well for them on the weekend. But they had a team with quite a few good guys. I believe that Chamont was out on the weekend as well.
Oh, right.
And they still their top scorer and still tucked loads of goals away. So we'll see.
It'll be a good one. That's the thing is we've said it before, but there's no easy games.
It's quite nice this season. You're not going into a Thursday night game against Hull or Edinburgh and thinking, well, maybe Edinburgh, and thinking, this is just going to be painful.
I think it'll be a good game.
I think most teams on their night can beat any other team over the Giants.
Well, Fife have beaten us in the big battle tent this season, so I would like to think that this time we'll have a good go at them.
Yeah,
and it'll be a good, close, competitive game. I'd like to see it being a clean, physical game.
Yeah.
So,
well, indeed.
And we know Fife are more than capable of playing that game. So hopefully we'll get a decent standard of officiating on the night that'll let the game flow, and we'll get to see it. Because I'd have to say, in Dean's, because I feel a little bit sorry for Dean Smith after the Sheffield game, that what was a correct call on the night, has now undermined the correct call he made, and where does that leave him in future?
Well, he's probably used to it by now, isn't he?
Probably.
Yes, but another part of the issue is, I suppose it works in his favour here, is that, and I have to say, for me, Dean Smith's my favourite ref down at the tent. I think he refs it with by far
he lets the games
by
flow.
far the most empathy for the game out of any of the referees, without any doubt. But there doesn't seem to be any accountability for referees when they make bad decisions. So the fact he's made a great decision in this, or non-call in this instance, presumably there won't be any repercussions for that either.
No.
So
No, and the Linos made no call on it either. They didn't say that they would, But anyway, no point going over that. And I think one thing we should say is on the Scotland trip, we did actually get to witness just how bad some of the standard refereeing is.
Is that Cowan?
Cowan was
horrific.
horrific.
That was impressed. That really was quite something else. Who was at the left and said that they thought Darnell was the best ref?
Not the best ref.
Well, he said if we had Darnell, if we had Darnell every week, he said he would have stayed. Who was that?
That's right. Was that
someone from one of the Scottish teams?
Oh, right.
Yes.
And after seeing Cowan, it has to be said, you can maybe kind of see the point. And
he has a permanent RPG, random penalty generator. They were skating down the ice. No one was near anybody, and he called a penalty.
It was surreal, really. Unless you've seen it, you wouldn't quite believe it.
And I do generally feel for the Scottish teams who are having to endure that regularly.
Historically, we remember Adam saying once when we were up there, he had to tell the team, "You're going to get penalties tonight. Hanson's refereeing. You're playing Edinburgh. You're going to get penalty. Just go to the box. But you're not going to know what they're for." Just go to the box. This was Hansen when he was refereeing.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing for Hansen now. He's having to come up with an explanation for the disciplinary.
Yeah.
And as has been said today, it's totally undermined the actual decision
yeah.
made.
Well, what I'd like to see is do it properly like the NHL. Show a clip of the film of the incident
and
explain why you made that decision.
It's not hard to do, is it?
You can have
in an age where we could do it on our blooming phone.
The problem is, though,
stick,
that if you did that, you would then completely undermine
the fact
what
that
you just said.
You're talking bollocks.
Yeah, because then everyone would know it wasn't true.
Yeah. We've covered this.
Cool.
I think so.
I think
big congratulations to Belfast as well.
Yep.
Do you know who else we need to congratulate?
Max.
Of course. Well, Max, yeah.
Yes.
I actually bumped into Max today. So I was walking out the office totally randomly. Yeah, and we walked into him. He's walking past. So congratulations for his wedding.
Belfast for the league title.
Fantastic. They've been the outstanding team in the league this season. We've said that numerous times.
They're so far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, they're much better.
Yeah.
They have their own Datsuk. Is that right?
Oh yes.
Is that correct?
Dustin White Cotton.
Yeah. No, isn't it Higgins?
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was White. Oh, is it Higgins?
Isn't it Higgins there?
You've totally.
Well,
sorry, my fault.
I
think you're right.
He's one of those guys who came in, on paper he looked a little bit underwhelming. He doesn't have the most amazing CV, and he's been absolutely fantastic this season.
Yeah.
So a big congratulations to him, and a big congratulations to them as a team.
Yeah. I mean, they've been lucky with injuries.
They haven't really.
But having said that, they've still.
But you make your own luck some of the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And those guys are fit.
They've been awesome. Yeah.
You don't get injured as often if you keep yourself fit. They have an excellent netminder and an excellent team. A great coach.
And it is nice to see a British netminder winning the league again.
Because it's not possible.
It's not possible.
No.
Especially not, twice.
It's amazing how they've done it.
Yeah.
So well done, Belfast.
Yep.
Yeah, well done.
Fantastic for Max.
And
we're congratulating Beer Briar, if you don't know, on his wedding.
So at Leishman, Max, because I can't remember what congratulations is in Russian, as I told you. At Leishman is excellent. So.
Cool.
Was there anything else?
Well, I have got a curry ordered, so.
No.
Are we doing
we better wrap.
The socks aren't very interesting, but
no,
they are cool.
I think we just wrap it up there tonight.
Black, but they do have. I think they've got like a 2.5 TOG rating.
That's impressive.
Which is.
Do you find your feet get too hot?
My socks have
got hot feet.
My socks have got a 12.5 TOG rating. I just cut my quilt up and sewed them up and made them into socks. I like wee booties.
I got furry feet.
There we go.
The Hobbit. So thanks to everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed it tonight.
Hope you could hear us.
Hopefully all the mics were working. Big thanks to Brett at the Drum Depot, our sponsor, and also Red Army Travel for their sponsorship and their continued support. And a big thank you to Aled and James, obviously.
And thanks to John as well for being co-presenter.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for letting us be in your
join
company.
Me. Yeah, you're welcome.
See you again.
You really did.